What if I told you that everything you believe might be built on illusions? That your mind is a puzzle made of stories, assumptions, shadows dressed as truths? Epistemology, the study of knowledge, doesn't just ask what we know. It asks, how do we know it? And even more hauntingly, can we ever be certain? This isn't just philosophy, it's a mirror, a scalpel, a spotlight into your soul. Here are 25 facts about epistemology that will bend your brain, challenge your worldview, and maybe, just maybe, set your mind free. Not all knowledge requires evidence you can articulate. Think of muscle memory, intuition, love, the things you know, even if words fail. Epistemologists call this tacit knowledge the knowing that lives in your bones. You ride a bike not because you've studied physics, but because your body learned to dance with gravity. This kind of knowledge whispers rather than shouts. It lives in action, not explanation. And it reminds us that some of the deepest truths can't be spoken, only lived. Ignorance says, I don't know, teach me. False certainty says, I already know, stop talking. Ignorance is fertile, false certainty is sterile. When belief hardens into dogma, learning stops. Growth dies, the mind closes its doors, even as new truths knock. Epistemology teaches that true strength lies in humility. Wisdom isn't knowing everything. It's being brave enough to say, I might be wrong. You believe the Earth orbits the Sun. But did you witness it? No. You were told by a book, a teacher, a screen. This is testimony-based knowledge, and it makes up most of your mental world. The real question is, why do we trust some sources and not others? Why does a scientist seem more credible than your uncle on Facebook? Epistemology examines this ecosystem of trust and how it shapes our version of reality. René Descartes didn't begin with belief. He began with radical doubt. He imagined an evil demon deceiving all his senses, every sight, sound and thought. He burned down everything until one thing remained. I think, therefore I am. Doubt is not the enemy of truth, it's the path to it. Epistemology begins when we stop pretending we already know. Your senses lie to you every day. Optical illusions, dreams, hallucinations, misheard words, yet you still trust them to cross the street, read this text, love someone's face. The paradox, they're flawed but essential. We don't perceive reality, we perceive an interpretation of it. And epistemology is how we learn to question the lens, not just the image. You can deeply believe in a lie, and you can resist a truth you've never been ready to hear. Belief is internal, truth is external, and the space between them is filled with illusions, fears and stories we tell ourselves. Epistemology helps close the gap by asking, what do you believe and why? The earth was flat until it wasn't. Bloodletting was medicine until it wasn't. History is, well, a graveyard of discarded truths. What do we believe today? That the future will laugh at. Epistemology isn't just about knowledge. It's about, knowing that knowledge evolves. You are not experiencing reality. You are experiencing a simulation created by your brain. It cuts out what it thinks is irrelevant so you don't get overwhelmed. But what if it cuts out truth? What if the world is far more magical, terrifying or complex than we perceive? Your consciousness is a flashlight in a vast, dark room. Epistemology is the art of learning where to point it. You think in words, but words come with baggage. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis says language doesn't just express thought, it limits it. No word for future, maybe you don't plan. 50 words for snow. Maybe you see what others miss. To reshape your thinking, you might first need to reshape your vocabulary. Epistemology reveals that language is not neutral. It's a map with blind spots. Socrates was, the wisest man in Athens because he knew he didn't know. To say I don't know is not a failure. It's a starting line. It shows honesty, humility and, hunger. Epistemology celebrates this awareness because nothing grows in soil that's already full. You don't just believe, you're trained to believe. Algorithms feed you what you want to hear. Ads sculpt your desires. Social media manipulates attention like a magician with a mirror. The terrifying truth? You may not be the author of your worldview. Epistemology demands that you ask, who benefits from what I believe? Ever try to explain how to dance? You can't, because it's not in your words, it's in your body. This is embodied knowledge, the wisdom of breath, motion and rhythm. Epistemology isn't just for the mind, it's in your muscle memory, your rituals, your heartbeat. We're surrounded by facts, but ask why something happens, and answers get foggy. Causality is a maze. And quite often we settle for stories that feel right instead of truths that are right. Epistemology reminds us explanations aren't proof, they're hypotheses in disguise. Your brain takes shortcuts, it seeks comfort, not truth. Confirmation bias, anchoring bias, Dunning-Kruger. They twist perception into ego protection. Epistemology is your mental antivirus. Without it, you're not learning. You're just repeating what feels safe. Every memory you recall gets edited, recolored, reworded, reshaped. Your past is not a photograph. It's a painting that changes every time you look. If memory is unstable, is it still knowledge? Epistemology says, be careful what you trust, even if it's your own mind. Certainty is a feeling, not a fact. You can feel sure and yet be dead wrong. Without evidence, certainty is really just stubbornness dressed as confidence. Epistemology, it demands we trade pride for precision. Science doesn't prove things. Instead, it tests them, breaks them, and refines them. It's structured skepticism, a method, not a belief. Science is, in a way, epistemology with a lab coat. It doubts, always in pursuit of better understanding. Feelings are data. but they're not evidence. Sometimes the most dangerous beliefs are, honestly, the ones that feel right. They're seductive, familiar, false. Epistemology is the discipline of checking the emotional echo against the facts. Laws, time zones, money, they're real because we agree they're real. This is constructed knowledge. Truth born of consensus, which means society can create truths and also dismantle them. In quantum physics, observing something can change it. The observer effect challenges the idea of an objective world. Epistemology wonders, do we discover reality, or do we help make it by looking? Not all doubt is healthy. Some systems flood us with lies, half-truths and contradictions, not to inform but to confuse. In that chaos, nothing feels true, and power hides. Epistemology is the flashlight that cuts through the fog. Slavery, eugenics, witch trials, all backed by the knowledge of their time. Being right isn't always being good. Epistemology ties truth to ethics, reminding us that knowing without compassion is, well, cruelty. Answers satisfy, questions transform. A better question can open up worlds, ignite revolutions. Epistemology teaches that curiosity is the greatest tool we have. Knowing what's right and doing nothing is a betrayal. Wisdom is knowledge made real through action. Epistemology lights the path, but you must walk it. Einstein questioned time, Socrates questioned virtue, Descartes questioned existence. They weren't obsessed with answers, they were addicted to the question itself, and that is the essence of epistemology, not to end with certainty, but to begin again and again with wonder. If your mind feels stretched, good. That means it's alive. Keep questioning, keep seeking, keep doubting. Because in a world drowning in noise, it's the question that remains sacred. Insert 10 seconds of silence here. Just breathe. Let it all sink in. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. Think deeply. Live wisely.